everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farrah and today is going to be the start of a new vlog. We're in December now. A little bit late starting this vlog. It's December 7th or so. And yeah, I got a lot of reading plans this month. This is the last month I think that I'm going to do such a structured TBR because I really need to just hunker down and read some of the books that I have on my shelves that I started and haven't. But anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about this month. I have a few books that I'm still working on from my November TBR, and I'm going to show you those real quickly. And then I have, a bunch of Christmas themed reading that I want to try to get through. I have a little bit of Stephen King short stories I want to try to get through as well this month. And Historathon. Now, one book I really wanted to read for Historathon, but I didn't get to it, is The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee by David Treuer. I started it, and I have to just stop reading so many books at the same time. So I am going to put this on hold and pick this up probably sometime in 2024 because it's worth it. It's so good so far, and I really want to be able to go through it slower and to enjoy it instead of feeling rushed. So I was supposed to read for Historathon, but I didn't get around to it, but it will be read eventually. The other reads I have that I'm still working on from November are going to be An Immense World by Yong. I'm really loving this. I'm just working my way slowly through it. You can see kind of where I am by the tabs. And it doesn't look like it, but because this is a lot of glossary and stuff, but I'm about 75% through, so I should finish this hopefully within the next week. And again, I don't want to rush myself, but I'm probably not going to talk much about this because I went on and on with my other two vlogs. All you need to know is that it's fantastic. I'm enjoying it so much, and I'm just, enjoying my time with it. So this is going to be going on in the background. The other book is on my Kindle here. This is a little Kindle Paperwhite, and this is called Company of Bones by Brennan Morton. This is fantastic so far. It's a fantasy type of book, swords, fighting, Game of Thrones-y-ish. Really fun. I'm really enjoying this a lot. We're following two different storylines. We have this young boy who is half human, half orc, and through a tragedy that happened, he is on a new path trying to fight his own demons. And we have this young man who's a thief, who is a lovable thief mixed up in the wrong crowd. We've got the mercenaries that come in and swoop everyone away, and it's just great world building. I'm really enjoying this so much. Company of Bones. This is a book I picked up off of a recommendation from MJ at Reading This Life. Her friend is the author, so just really impressed and having a great time with this one. But I'm gonna finish it probably within a couple days. So for audio, I started Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is what is it? It's a gothic, dark academia. I don't know my genres too well, but it's historical, magical realism. We'll put it there with a gothic undertone. This I'm doing as a group read in MJ's Discord as well with a couple other booktubers, and this is not one that I own, unfortunately. This was a library hold that happened to come in at a perfect timing, so I decided to jump on that opportunity and read it. And this is really good. It's nothing like what I thought. Honestly, I didn't know anything going into this, but this is my first book by this author, and I think she's creating a very good world. Everything is very Victorian with real places, real events in history that are happening, but there's a magical element that involves silver. This particular metal seems to have some kind of magical element to it. We're meeting our main character named Robin, who was a young boy whose mother died in the Asiatic cholera plague that swept over China. And he's whisked away to England to be trained as a translator and in the Oxford School of Babel, the School of Languages and Translation. So far the writing is really great. I'm really loving it. I'm loving the character development and the buildup of these characters. We have Robin, who is very likable. He's very humble. We're starting to see him grow a little bit in his character to stand up for himself more. We have a couple ragtag students that are his friends. They're all kind of experiencing different types of prejudice. So you're getting into the colonialism part of things. You're getting into the ethics of translation and how it could be used as a business purpose to skewer things in a favorable way to the person doing the translating, aka the British versus the Native Americans, that type of thing. So I'm loving the themes of language and the talk about origins of language, and I've always been fascinated by them. I wish I spoke more languages. I speak a little bit of Spanish. It's something that I'm working on, but There are so many languages I wish I could learn that it's going to be a lifelong learning thing for me, languages. Who knows if I'll ever get fluent in anything, but I really appreciate and think it's really amazing when other people can speak more than just one language. So really enjoying Babel so far. And then the other book that I've started on audio, so I'm doing two at once. One I'm listening to in the morning, one I'm listening to in the afternoon. But this is my pick for Historathon, and this is called Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Journey, written by Alfred. I can't remember the name. It'll be right here. And this is so good. This is so good so far. This takes place in 1914, and it follows the expeditioner named Ernest Shackleton as he gathers a group of 27 or so people, and they sail down from Britain to try to be the first transcontinental trek over Antarctica. The book starts out with a bang. You're getting instant action right away. You're thrown right into it. And then after that chapter, we're kind of brought back in time to tell the story of how this expedition came to be. So we have all these different characters that we're following. We've got Shackleton, who's the head in command, very charismatic, one of the greatest leaders in history. We've got a couple of wildlife biologists on the boat. We've got some physicians. We've got 69 huskies, or dogs that they got from Canada that were very cold, adaptive, and hardy type of breeds. We've got, the sailors themselves that know how to run the ship. It's just fascinating already. I'm only about less than 20% through, but I am hooked already. The audio narrator is phenomenal. They're doing a bunch of different accents. We've got a Scottish accent, a New Zealand accent, British. We've even got Shackleton's accent, which is British, but with a tilt of Irish, which you can tell. So very talented audio narrator, really setting the scene. So the writing in this is absolutely beautiful. It's descriptive. It's very narrative nonfiction-ish, so it's not dry at all. It is like an adventure story. The basic idea of the story, which is right on the back, it's not a spoiler, is that on the way to Antarctica, his ship gets stuck in the ice. It gets stuck and crushed in the ice, and they have to abandon it. I'm not at that part yet, but I am at the part where the ship is stuck, and they can't move anywhere. They're trapped within this giant sheet of ice based on what happened with the weather and the temperature. It's taking place in the summer hemisphere, so the seasons are opposites. We're in the Antarctic summer, so we get 24 hours of sunlight, which is, amazing to think about just to start with, since we're not used to that. But he talks about these ice crystals floating in the air because the temperature is so freezing that it's almost this fairy tale-like setting. And what I love is like his descriptions of this beautiful land, this beautiful environment within this devastating crisis. So we're getting two huge contrasting things. We're getting like absolute isolation. The animals that he encounters, the orcas and the humpback whales and the seals and the penguins, they've really never seen humans before. So the animals are not afraid. You can get up close to them. And, it just paints such a really cool picture. Then as, they're stuck there and they know that they have to wait for the weather to change in order to be free from the ice. So they know they're going to have to survive the winter. So we move into the Antarctic winter season, which is 24 hours of darkness. And he talks about the aurora, not the northern lights. I don't know what they're called in the south, but the southern lights, the southern aurora, and the beautiful moonlit sky amongst the snow. And there's no pollution yet. It's just a silence beyond anything that they've ever known. And it talks about how these people are bonding with each other. And such a great book. I'm really enjoying it. So those are the two books on audio I have going. And we'll see where we go from here. I'm not sure. I think my next physical book is probably going to be A Christmas Carol. So hopefully it'll be that one, or one of my Christmassy read what you own type of physical books I have. So I'm going to go for a little walk, and I will check in with you guys soon. Hey everybody, happy Saturday. It's probably not Saturday when you're watching this, but today I think I'm gonna run down to my local library. They're having a Christmas tree sale and they're selling a bunch of greenery like wreaths and different decorations. So just gonna go down there with my sister and support them a little bit. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like inside because it's really cute and cozy. And I don't get there very often. This is a different library than the one that's right next to my daughter's school. But this is one that when I get a chance to go, I just love to. It's just cute. It's in a really old building, but I like how it's set up and everything. So that's gonna be the next clip. I just wanted to give you a little insight into where I was. So I thought I'd sit down and film for a few minutes just to give you guys a quick update. I haven't had too much time to vlog at all this week. I don't know how this vlog's gonna turn out. It might not be very good. It's just been so busy. I don't know how it's been for you guys. Just December is always kind of a stressful, busy month for me. It's like I always want to enjoy the Christmas season so much, but it's actually very stressful, both at work and then just trying to do everything and, you know, be with your family and do all the things you have to do to make Christmas fun. But I don't usually enjoy Christmas until like the 26th. So I'm trying though, yeah. So I just want to give you a quick update. I finished The Company of Bones by Brennan Morton, and this book was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. I know I talked about it a little bit in the intro, but it's I would say a light fantasy, swords and sorcery type of genre, and it was just really good. It's actually book one in a series that he's going to be doing. I want to say there's going to be like a huge amount of books, like maybe a 12 book long series. And this was a great first book. I really enjoyed it. So just briefly to tell you what it's about, we're following a couple of different characters, and we have this opening scene where we have these two different kind of groups of mercenaries or war chiefs that are trying to negotiate some terms. And the scene was done really well. We have this great character who is part of the Company of Bones, which is the name of the book, but they're a group of mercenaries that take on contracts for basically the good. You know, they're trying to protect the underdogs, and they're, you know, just they're a good group of people, and they're clashing heads with this war group called the Golden Wolves, I think they're called. They decided in order to end their quarrel, they're going to pick two different champions to fight to the death. So the Golden Wolves pick their champion, and then the Company of Bones starts talking about who their champion is going to be, and it's very mysterious and sinister, and it just, the tone is great. I really loved how the book opened. So after that, we go back in time about 4 or 5 years, and we're following two different storylines. So we're following this boy. He's probably a teenager-ish, and he comes from a mixed sort of species or race of people. So his father was human, but his mom was an orc. So he's a half human orc, and he has some kind of specific strengths because of being an orc. He's very physically strong, and he has this like warrior blood flowing through him. So due to a tragedy that happens, he goes on this journey, both emotionally and physically, kind of coming of age, coming into himself. And that storyline was really good. This character had such a great arc. He had so much heart within him. He had just so many things to overcome, and I really enjoyed that particular part of the story. And then the other storyline we're following this kind of younger man who's going through some rough times, you know, a little bit of a lost soul. He's a gambler. He gets himself in trouble with money, Middle Ages mafia sort of. And in order to buy more time, his friend kind of throws him into this mission with this horrible group of people that are sent on this mission. And, you know, I don't want to get too much into the plot, but he has a really interesting story arc as well. And I just thought the story flowed really well. It was just so interesting. Like I said, the characters were great. It didn't have a ton of female characters in it, but the females that were in it all had really cool strengths. So that I thought was amazing. And it was kind of like, I read the author's note at the end, and it's basically a PG-13 type of fantasy. So you're not getting the huge like brutality of something like Game of Thrones, but it's scaled back enough where you don't feel horrible when you're reading it. And I know he wrote this for his daughter, and he wanted her to be able to enjoy these stories. And I just thought it was a great book. I really, really enjoyed it. It was my ebook, so I read it on my Kindle, and I would read it every night before I went to bed and in the morning when I woke up. And I just really enjoyed it. So I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about that. And this book was recommended by MJ from Reading This Life. One of her friends wrote this book, so I'm just really impressed, and I'm glad to share it. So if you're interested in fantasy and you like these type of stories, definitely check out the premise of it, and yeah, consider supporting an indie author. I really loved it, and I'm really, really excited for the second book. And it's one of those books where as soon as I was done reading it, I almost wanted to go back and reread it again, because I think that I missed a lot of stuff, and I know that certain parts of the story would come together knowing what I know now. There'd be all these little Easter eggs that I didn't pick up on before. So really enjoy that. Just want to pop on and talk about it real quickly. I'm gonna head to bed in a few minutes. It's Friday night. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And yeah, so I think next time I sit down and chat with you guys, I'm gonna talk about Babel, which I'm doing on a mixture of audio and ebook. This is our group read over on MJ's Discord. This has been a really fun book. Really loving this a lot. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about my other audiobook called Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage, which is phenomenal. So many good books this month so far. Got one down for the Read What You Own challenge. I have to fit in 2 more before the month's over. So I'm going to be starting A Christmas Carol soon, and I'm going to be starting Agatha Christie, The Adventures of the Christmas Pudding. That's going to be coming up next week. And A Christmas Carol, and hopefully I can get to my Magical New York Christmas book as well, but we'll see. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're not feeling too much stress with the holidays. It's real, you know, and I'm happy to tell you I'm on the stress train right now. So if you are too, you know, I'm there right there with you. So I will check in with you guys soon.